Oh, Foo Fighters and All My Life on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me, Stephen Merchant and Karl Pilkington. So, just before we do educating, Ricky, this is where Karl thinks he can give me something of interest and teach me something to take away. Last week I found out that, somewhere in a strange land, people thought tomatoes were poisonous because they ate them with lead. Things like that. What was the other one you told me? What else was it last week? Bit of worms. Cut me off. Yeah. Oh, I sent him a text message. I was on the train, a bit bored, and, I read in, I think it was Metro, scientists have found out that, worms get stressed, and they found out that, the fat ones, didn't live as long. And when they checked the thin ones that lived longer, they found out they had a gene for de-stressing them. Right? Karl, do you remember what you said?
No.
He went, well, that's stupid, isn't it? He said, did these other ones die of natural causes? I went, yeah. He went, alright. Because it could be that the fat ones couldn't get off the pavement quick enough and got squashed. So maybe the scientists go, yeah, we didn't. Yeah, they come to think of it, they were flat as well as fat.
I think the reason that the, worms are getting stressed is because, people like Karl are cutting them in half to try and make 2 snakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two worms.
Well,
Yeah.
well.
That's the concern.
he said they can't even commit suicide if they're stressed by cutting their throat. I also sent what I thought was quite interesting, that the scientists have found that the elephant hasn't got the best memory. The sea lion has,
Right.
based on they've got a sea lion and they got it back into the old laboratory. 10 years after it taught it a simple trick, and it could still do the trick. What did you say to that, Karl?
I'd say they don't get up to much anyway, so if you do teach it something, it is going to remember it.
Sure.
Because it's got nothing else to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it also, I mean, I like sea lions, they look nice and everything, but what do they do?
What was that? Sea lions?
Yeah, what are they here for? It's another jellyfish, as far as I'm concerned. It's like, it's there and people know about them, but what do they do?
Yeah.
What do we do? What do we do, Karl?
Well,
what do we do?
A cat, first, Steve said, is good for your heart. So you
Why is it all geared to what's good for us?
well. Anyway.
Educating Ricky.
Good, we've settled that then. Go on.
The titles that are, meant to sort of pull you in.
Yeah.
We've got, what was it? Stocking, Aitken and Waterman.
Yeah.
You've got, it's not his vault. And, get a load with this.
Get a load of this. So, which pun do I pick first? I think I'll go for, get a load of this.
Get a lobe of this.
Yeah, get a load of this, yeah.
Well, that's a story about a girl who, she was deaf, right, for 4 years. And, it happened quite a bit back this.
What year? Or was it,
I think it was
ages ago, was it?
About, yeah, quite a bit back. She was deaf for about 4 years, having an argument with her mum, it said, which I didn't quite understand. Because I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
But she was having an argument,
Well-
and a man pushed her against the wall, and she banged her head, and her hearing came back.
Okay.
Was she wearing a Walkman? And it fell out? And she'd realised, well, oh, that's
There's
why.
no explanation.
There's no explanation! Well, why is that teaching me something
Right,
then?
so I knew you'd say this, right? So I thought, right, I'll stick something on it. Do you know that bees are deaf?
No! No, you can't just, no! No. If
No.
you ask someone something they don't know the answer to, they don't tell you something else. Just, I'll tell you something else then. I can't answer that, I'll tell you something else. Imagine that, if you asked a teacher. That, how do birds fly? Wow, if you're gonna do that, tallest building is, I mean, what?
Well,
That was the equivalent, Karl, of running away when we asked you a question.
Yeah, the intellectual equivalent of going, look over there, there's a monster.
Yeah.
Listen, what do you mean? What she, okay, so, oh.
So her
There's
hearing
no
came back.
explanation. There's no explanation. Or you don't know.
well, there isn't one, is there, really? It's a bit
What,
weird.
did,
But the
doctors,
only
did
thing
the doctors not look into it?
No, I think they just said, oh, that's good.
But, so again, I don't. Where did this information? Is that if you read this on
Is
the net?
that
Is that
it?
all they put on
There
the
was
net?
once a deaf woman who hit her head and she
And her
could hear.
hearing came back.
It was bizarre things about being deaf.
Was there
And-
three
Oh,
like?
yeah.
Was there
I've
three?
got that book, yeah, it's a good book, that.
Was there 3
Yeah.
more pages you just couldn't be bothered to read on?
Yeah.
No, it was just a little bit, and it
Was there a
said-
little picture, a cartoon picture?
No pictures, I just
And we
read
going,
it.
ow!
Look,
Ow,
if
I
you don't
can
want to
hear.
know, if you don't want to learn, you know.
Yeah. Okay, it's not his fault. Let me have it's not his fault. You've got to save this. This has got to teach me something. It'll be an interesting story.
Right, it's not his vault. This fella,
Yeah. What year? Ages ago?
Olden times?
I'd say in the 70s.
Okay.
Would you? Any evidence for that?
And,
Does he wear flares in the story?
Right,
Is that your
so-
reason?
no, it's a bit like Yuri Geller, this fella, right? Where
Oh, yeah.
he's electric.
He's electric.
And, if he walks past the telly would fizz.
Uh-huh.
If he walked past the radio, it all goes like that.
Oh.
His hair stuck up all the time. And he'd be having a bath and everything would be alright, and then the power would sort of switch on in his body, and the electric in his body made him jump out of the bath. So...
What do you mean so? What is that so? What does that so mean? You've given us nothing. You've given us nothing.
You'd have to at least give us the scientific explanation.
Yeah.
Electric eels have 400 volts in them.
Oh, is this the running away again?
What was that one called?
Yeah, but
It's not his volt.
but there's a reason that not his fault. It's not his fault. I thought it was going to be something about keeping it in a safe.
I think we should do these the other way round. I
It's
think you
not
should
his
tell us
fault.
the story and then we'll hear the pun.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Right, let's leave it.
Play a tune.
Forget it.
Educating Ricky.
Doing it. We're not doing it.
No, we are. Oh. What? Don't look at me like that.
Oh, Carl, you're in a bad mood.
The coral,
I'm alright.
dreaming of you. Right, do the last one. Do the last one. Carl's saying we're never doing this again because we don't appreciate it. Yeah, Carl, you don't know how good this feature is, mate.
Right, last one.
Yeah.
Stocking, Aitken and Waterman.
Go on then, tell me about that one. What's that? What am I going to learn from this?
Right, well, do you know the saying, pot a sock in it?
I like it already.
Do you know the saying?
Yeah.
Right, well, do you know where it comes from?
I assume it's shut up, so I'll stuff your mouth with a sock to shut you up.
Years ago.
Yeah. Sorry, am I right?
No, not really. Ages ago.
1970s?
50s,
Okay.
I'd say. Do you know the old,
I'd say.
do you know the old gramophone?
Yeah.
With the big horn on it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, well, those stereos didn't have a volume control on them. Right? So they'd be listening
Oh,
to
so you
their
put a
album,
sock in the...
and
mute.
you'd put something like a sock.
That's a real one, you see. That's taught me something. That's good. That's excellent, Carl. That is the only one that counts, like chewing the fat, if they're true. I'm assuming they are. It works. It's of interest. I haven't got it verified yet, but that is educating Ricky. That's brilliant. I will say, the other two were more entertaining. So, you know, I don't...
Do you understand the distinction, though, between that one and Electrical Man?
And, or I've hit my head, I can hear you, Mum.
Yeah. Can you see the difference, though? Or...
Not
all
really,
three-
because when I read all three, I took something away from all of them.
What did you take away from the
other
Electrical
two?
Man?
I just thought, oh, imagine that. Imagine how annoying that would be.
But that's
Yeah.
not education, is
And
it
it's
really?
not taking anything
No, but
away.
think about it, right? We take our lives for granted all the time, don't you? You get up in the morning, it's like, oh, I'll get up and walk for a shower. Some people can't walk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy, he can't even have you know what I mean? It's nice to have a bath, isn't it, when you got time on your hands and
Yeah.
you can relax. This guy can't even do that. He might be alright for a bit, but he's not really enjoying it, because at any moment, it could strike.
Yeah.
So, he can't even do that. He can't comb his hair, because it keeps going a mess.
Yeah.
He can't watch his
Nor can
favourite-
you.
No, he can't.
Does he fight crime? What does he do with his powers?
I think he just has to sit around, because he can't work with machinery,
Right.
because he'll probably blow a fuse.
Yeah, so he just sits around.
Think about it, what can he do? What normal things can he do?
Skateboarding.
Going for long walks.
Yeah,
Put a wetsuit on.
well, he couldn't do that.
Why?
Ooh, water and electric.
No, wetsuits aren't actually wet. They're dry initially.
Just put a whole wetsuit on and walk round with flippers and
A
rub the
wetsuit's
sole.
not like a dinner jacket that's like really wet.
Well,
Yeah.
all I'm saying is think, do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And what was the
And
other
the
one again?
girl deaf for 4 years hits her head.
Yeah. That's just,
What have you learned from that?
What is that?
Well, imagine how happy you'd be. Remember that time when I nearly died? When I choked on a Mr. Freeze Pop? Right?
No, tell us that one again.
No, I told you, didn't I?
Tell us again.
Yeah, but the people will remember it, and then it's...
They weren't listening. Go on. What happened?
It was ages ago when my mum and dad used to go out shopping on a Friday.
1970s?
Get the food in. get a week's load of food in the cupboard and that, and we'd, you know, they'd come in with all the food, and we'd all be like, oh god, you know, there's no food left on a Thursday really, so we'd all be hungry on the Friday by the time the food got in.
I love that!
And
That
I'd
they
be
wouldn't
like-
eat it. I imagine him like jackal puppies.
Yeah.
Just like licking your parents' mouth for food as they
So-
come through the door.
So they come in from the supermarket, they're emptying the box, Kid had got some biscuits and what have you. I
Frenzy, just a feeding frenzy, like pigeons.
I grabbed the Mr. Freeze pop and knocked it back really quick, but it wasn't frozen, so I knocked it back so it was like a liquid, and it went down the wrong way, right, and I was choking, right, and I nearly died. It must have been about, how long can you go before you die?
A couple of minutes to do
Right,
it.
I reckon about 1:50. Right, I was really close to dying.
How do you know you were close to dying? Did your life flash before you?
No, but I just was like...
There's loads of instances of him eating pops.
Yeah, exactly.
I just was dead.
40 of those.
Whatever, right?
What do
anyway.
you think you'd see if your life flashed past you? What do you think, which elements would stand out for you, do you think?
What? Start now, go back. What do you remember? What's the first thing you remember?
As a kid.
Yeah, just anything
Right,
now.
being in a hall and having our dog licking my face.
That's your earliest memory?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
Right, next one's probably being at primary school with Lindsay.
Yeah.
Was that your girlfriend?
Well, a little friend who was a girl.
Sure.
And we used to have like tins with letters in, and you'd have to write stuff. But anyway, what were we doing?
I got confused.
Right, so anyway,
I'm intrigued by the dog that was licking your face.
well, bin that.
We won't win that.
no, it's a great
Rockbusters.
feature. I just think you need to be a little bit more careful about what you consider to be education.
Gone
All
funny.
right,
I
all
fell
right.
over.
Alright, well, I'll...
We'll work on it next week. Play a tune, and what have you got for us? Because we've got a big competition.
We've
Come
got
on.
to do the competition. We've only got 25
Yeah, well, come on,
Don't
then,
worry
quick
about
then.
it, Carl.
Do
Play a
something,
tune.
play
We'll
a
come back with
tune.
Rockbusters.
What we
do you wanna
playing?
play? Let's play a bit of,
Death in Vegas. Scorpio Rising.
featuring the voice of, is it Noel Gallagher?
Liam, innit?
Is it Liam?
Sounded a bit like him.
Liam, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, innit?
Excellent, yeah. Right, okay, let's get this show well and truly on the road. We better start, educating Ricky next, Carl? What have you got for me? I can't wait for learning. I need learning. I need education.
We should just
Teach
explain,
me something.
obviously, for those that have just tuned in, Carl, tries to teach Ricky 3 things each week.
Based on the pun title,
And yeah, each
educating
of them, just to tantalise Ricky, is, abbreviated into some kind of headline.
A cryptic
tantalise
clue
him.
involving a pun.
So what have you got for us this week?
They are really cryptic this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
First story, little headline, is, don't worry about him, he can do it.
He can handle it.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit like he can handle it, but it's not. Brilliant.
Second one.
Oh, get a lobe of
I'm
Get a lobe of this.
this. Some classics. Who can forget? Get a lobe of this.
Yeah. Coming soon.
And Stocking Aitken Waterman. Go on.
Second one,
Yeah.
I'm committed to this treatment.
I'm committed to this treatment.
Yeah,
Alright, tantalising.
yeah. And the last one, the police are causing a bit of a stare.
The way he looks when he says it. I wish we could see. Can't we get Carl on telly?
There's got to be a way. There's
We
got to be a way.
cannot. With all the cable channels, anyone can get on telly these days. Let's
Right,
get.
so-
Let's phone up. Let's get you on Choice or something. Just a little. Just Carl.
What are you going for?
Oh, he can handle it. I think.
Don't worry about him, he can do it.
He can handle it.
Sorry,
Okay,
yeah.
let's hear this one.
Right, are you familiar with the phrase, burning the candle at both ends?
Yeah.
Do you know how it's come about?
I know a man
Well,
who does.
I assumed that it was to get more light in the room.
How would that work?
Well, they'd put it sideways and light both wicks, so out of one candle they could get
No.
two. No, go on.
No, what it is...
I know what
is,
it means. It means you're doing too much. You're staying up too much.
Right.
You're not getting enough sleep, and you're
Well, years ago,
yeah.
when they didn't have light bulbs and that.
Oh yeah. What year is this? Literally ages ago, specifically.
Yeah, quite a bit back.
Okay.
Didn't have light bulbs and that, so they used to have candles
When
in
did the light bulb come in? Because I can't remember at the moment.
don't know.
Okay, go on.
So, yeah, so they've got a light bulb.
You're not. You wouldn't know. You're a doctor. You're not a historian. Go on.
And people who worked a lot of hours, yeah,
How many? Literally lots.
they get up early in the morning because they have to be up early,
Yeah,
and it's dark outside, so they'd light the candle,
sure.
and they'd wear it out a bit, and then they'd be getting in late as well,
Yeah.
and like, they'd be like, oh, it's dark, I'll have to light the candle again, and they're burning candle at both ends of the day. So that's where the saying comes from, burning the candle at both ends. So,
Alright.
that's a little lesson.
Yeah.
Lesson one.
Okay. Can I have?
No,
Well,
no,
I-
you can't have
You
another
can't
one
rush
yet.
into them, Rick. You've got to.
I've got to soak in that.
You've got to soak that one in. Any questions for Carl off the back of that?
What do you think?
So people were, I mean, basically where this comes from is people were
literally burning the candle at both ends of the day.
Sure.
There you go. So we've still got,
Go on.
I'm committed to this treatment, and
I can't wait. This is like Christmas
Rick, I
Eve
should
for me.
just say-
It's like Christmas. I've got to open another present now.
No, I'm afraid we've got to save it. Rick, listen, we often get a lot of email correspondence during the show, Rick, which I don't sort of pass on to you because, I mean, you're busy, you're planning the show and stuff,
Sure,
you've got a lot of ideas, you've got music and stuff to worry
Yeah.
about. So I check the emails, and we get a lot of response, a lot of people that obviously, you know, want to give us feedback. Just a sample one, from Richard Anderson. He's just emailed us in here, Rick, because he's been listening to the show. He says, Ricky, your show is appalling. Are you actually aware you're on the radio, or has someone just secretly stuck a microphone on you? That's from Richard Anderson. So that's typical of the kind of feedback, Rick, we're getting today. So
it's that good, is it?
So that's the kind of high positive praise that we're getting. So
I'm glad Anderson's listening because I wanted him.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I was gunning for him as a fan.
I was worried that
early on in our career. So
absolutely, but,
I think he's hooked now, though.
But thanks, Andrews, for getting in touch. Good work.
He's sitting through it for Hellraiser, though, isn't he?
Yeah, well, that's still to come, of
Still
course,
to come.
Rockbusters.
Still to come. What we playing?
A bit of old dirty I can't say the word, it's offensive. Old
Is it
ODB.
bollocks? Is it old dirty bollocks?
No.
What is it?
Old dirty.
Old dirty big cock? What is it? What is it?
I can't tell you, it's offensive.
Nirvana.
Amazing.
We were just talking, we were getting excited about that,
Yeah,
weren't
he's
we?
got an incredible voice he has.
And Grohl, drumming, it's brilliant. You know, you're right, the new one from Nirvana. Well, it's time for Educating Ricky Part 2, isn't it? I'm excited, Carl. I'm gonna learn so much from this. What's the choices again? What's
You've got left.
Still keep phoning your answers to, Email, sorry, yeah.
The answers to Rockbusters.
Yeah.
Right, okay, Educating Ricky, Part 2.
Right. I'm committed to this treatment.
Yeah.
Is one.
I've gotta go for that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or the other one is the police are causing a bit of a stir.
He still says it like it's the best thing he's ever come up with, which in a way it is.
It could be. Right, go on then. I'm committed to this treatment.
Right. Do you know the saying?
Is it just sayings now? Are they all sayings this week?
No, they're not.
Okay.
No, the other one isn't. Frog in your throat?
The saying, there's a frog in your throat?
Yeah.
I assume it's when you croak a little bit. You sound like a frog.
No. Right. Might seem a bit weird, this one, right? But years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, what is that clue? Committed to this treatment?
It's about frogs committed.
Probably works better with a K and an ER written down.
Well, also, if you'd pronounced it committed,
yeah.
but not committed.
Committed to this treatment! Right, go on then.
That's genius.
So yeah.
Well, what?
You go to the doctors and you go with throat hurting a bit.
Right.
And what they did ages ago.
Ages ago? What year was this approximately?
We are going back quite a bit with this one.
Oh, okay, go on.
And the doctor would say,
You got did history. Imagine years ago, go on.
and the doctor would say, right, keep your mouth open, I need to look at your tonsils. And the jaw would ache a bit, because they weren't as quick back then, because they didn't have the technology and stuff, and they'd have to, like, stare at it and study it and stuff. And, like, they get an achy jaw, right?
Keeping their mouth open.
Yeah, like, you get, you know,
Yeah.
when you eat a Mars bar or whatever, it's so, they'd sat there, and they used to always close their mouth, and it used to annoy the doctor, right?
Oh.
So what they did, they used to get a toad,
Right.
and put it in the mouth,
Rubbish.
Okay, keep talking. Keep talking.
and that way they couldn't close the mouth because either they'd squash it,
Right.
or apparently you're not allowed to lick a toad's back.
So the doctor would have them for breaking the law?
No, but it's poisonous, right? A toad's back. You should never lick a toad's back.
Sorry.
Or put it in your mouth, really.
Oh, just stop for a second.
Wait. What?
Can I just ask one question?
Go on,
Can I
yeah,
just
go
ask
on.
one question?
I've got a few, but
no,
go on.
sure. My initial thought is, it sounds like a brilliant bit of sort of medical, knowledge there. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
My only thought is, how does the doctor see past the toad at your tonsils?
What's he actually looking at with the mouth open? Surely the toad is
Isn't
in
it
the
like
way.
hopping around in the way?
It didn't say.
Sorry, and my first question is, was this on the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Carl, that is bollocks. That is, I mean,
Well, alright then. Let's turn this round. Where does the saying, you got a frog in your throat come from?
Probably because you sound a bit croaky. Probably that. Probably because you sound a little bit like a frog when you've got a sore throat.
Carl, did you not question it just for a moment when you read it? Just for a second, didn't you think, that seems an odd approach? Firstly, why a frog, of all the different
Because
species?
it's poisonous. A toad.
So a toad, so it's a toad as well?
Yeah, well, it worked. I'm committed. Worked.
No, not
No,
that.
my point is it's frog in the throat.
I was gonna change it to, have you heard the news Toad Day? But I went with the frog.
Oh God!
Right, so
that's
think
rubbish.
about it.
So that's rubbish. Next, can I have,
Let's play a tune, let's come up with the
God.
last one.
Oh,
Can I just
Chloe?
say, no, just play it.
yeah?
Yo, Carl. Why are you telling me this? I mean, thank you, because it's, you know, killed a couple of minutes, but why is this educating me? What are you telling me here?
Because there's a bit of a thing there, a bit of a fable, that don't always judge a book by its cover. Yeah? So, the guy, he hadn't even had a drink. He'd probably just been shopping.
Yeah.
Walking down the street, and everyone's, like, getting involved, like, what's he doing? He shouldn't.
Hang on, I don't understand. He's walking down the street, happens to have a glass eye. He was doing nothing else to suggest he was drunk. You don't pick people up just because their eye looks like that.
But even if it happened, why are you telling me? With no particular detail. I know this, but then we're gonna get
There's not enough information.
I know, yeah.
No, there's a bit of a lesson there, educating Ricky, just, you know, just watch what you say. Don't always jump to conclusions.
The only education I can take from that is that, if I ever do become a policeman, I shouldn't just arrest people because they look a bit drunk. I should just tap their eye with a pen and goes, oh, okay, on you go.
Well,
On you go, yeah.
Guys, can I just stop you there? I'm just going to email Richard Anderson and tell him I agree.
right, listen, running out of time and that. We've got the
where
answers.
did the phrase frog in the throat come from?
We've got
it here. He's been told.
Well, there's three.
Can we play a tune and come back with that? Have we got anything lined up?
yeah, we've got the song with a story in it.
Come on, Carl, let's do something. Quick, play a record.
Song with a story in it.
But never
this
mind
week.
that, just, they're listening. We discussed this off air, come on. Play a record.
Play it.
It's
Song for-
Kinks.
Kinks, the Kinks.
It's a song with a good story in it. You gotta listen to the words.
Carl, what was that? That was your little song with a story,
That's
wasn't
another little feature that we do every Saturday. Little
So
song.
make sure you tune in.
It's a song that's got a good story in it. There's a lot of music about these
What's that
days.
story about then? What's that story
You
about?
don't know what they're going on about. Whereas that, classic from the Kinks, called Lola,
Yeah, what's it about?
I'd listened to it for the first time properly this morning,
Yeah.
and what I've worked out from it is, there's a fella who goes out for a normal Saturday night out, he's in Soho,
Yeah.
he's having a Coca-Cola or whatever, and
Cherry Cola, yeah.
he sees this woman, he thinks, yeah, she's alright, won't mind a bit of that. So he wanders over, and he sort of gets talking to her, he looks at her, and she's got a great figure, nice face and all that,
Lovely knob.
and she speaks, and he goes, oh God, got a bit of a bloke's
Frog in the
voice.
throat, yeah.
Got a bit of a voice like a bloke, but he thought, but you know, that's her only down point.
Sure.
So he dances around with her, and I think he sits on his knee, I think he said.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turns out it's a fella.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
A sobering lesson.
Yeah.
What do you take from that?
look, always sort of, if you think you might be talking to, a
bloke in
who's
drag.
just look at his sort of Adam's apple. And he'll probably have a hairier arse than a woman.
Yeah, I think you've gone too far then, though. I think you're already getting too close.
It's a bit late to pull out.
No, pun intended, definitely.
There was a pun intended.
Oh, was it? Alright, was it?
Yes.
Alright, okay, we don't be disgusting then. Right, okay, right, the results of,
We
Rockbusters.
ain't got a winner for the first time.
Yes, we have,
We've
we've
done
got
this
loads.
feature for...
We've got loads of winners.
No, we haven't. We've done this feature for 3 weeks. This is the first time I've managed to sort of...
What?
Well, let's go through them then.
What have they got wrong?
The first one.
The first one?
What was the
first
clue?
one,
There's
yeah,
loads-
the first
well, what's the
Well, hang on,
clue?
let's do them in reverse order first. So what's the last one?
The last one, the clue was, that bloke does sport on the telly and he's got a little kid.
What's that?
That's Destiny's Child. Des, who does ITV Sport,
that's
has got a
terrible,
tiny
man.
child, right? No,
That's terrible.
that's fine, they
Yeah,
got that.
Okay, Destiny's Child.
Des-
What's the one?
Des
What's the
Tiny's child.
middle one?
Right, the middle one,
Child.
right?
Child.
The second one was, he doesn't like women, yet he's got a couple of kids, that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Right? That was PD, that was Puff Daddy.
That is offensive. Go on.
But that, it's not Puff Daddy. It's Puff Daddy. And he's not even called that anymore. He's called P. Diddy.
Well,
Okay, fair enough.
But they got that one.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I'm being tight, these lot are as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tight means something in Manchester. Go on.
Right. And the first one that they're having problems with, I don't think them birds should be allowed in this
They've
area.
got it. Boyzone.
It's not Boyzone.
What's the clue again?
I don't think them birds should be allowed in this area.
That is perfect. A boy zone. No birds.
No women.
No women, yeah, birds, right? A boy zone. Sorry, Carl. If that isn't the answer, their clue is better than yours. That is brilliant. What was yours? Boy zone, it works perfectly.
What's your answer then?
Bangles.
I have no idea what that means.
Like seagulls. So you don't want them in this area, so you're banning them. Bangles.
Oh! Well, give it to Boyzone, because Boyzone's better. Don't use birds to be allowed in this area, it's a Boyzone.
I think we should have a rollover. Carl beat them. Carl beat them. You have to use his logic, surely.
But theirs works. You can't do what am I thinking. No, that's not what I'm thinking. It works perfectly. I think you've got to give it to the ones that got the Boyzone.
Well, how about, right, because they didn't actually get into my head and my way of thinking,
heaven
right?
forbid.
How about we just keep back the David Attenborough, and they can have, I'll chuck in the Hellraiser, right?
Okay.
Nice of you.
And, Blondie album and the Madness
Yeah,
one.
okay, pick a winner at random.
Pick a winner, Steve.
I'm gonna give it to Paul Sloman, who got those answers, and he also says, P.S. Carl, you're a moron. So, I'm giving that to Paul, and good luck to him.
Right, well,
He's got a crazy night tonight. If we can rush these over to him, he's got a cracking Saturday night.
well, if I'm a moron, I might get your address wrong when I send them to you.
Oh!
Coming right back at you, Paul.
Yes. Right, John, play your song.
Is this it? We're almost
Carl's
done?
annoyed, because
Wow,
they
he's
didn't get
wild.
banned goals.
A song from, song for the ladies. I think we seem to have missed this a lot of weeks, but, this is, I've been wanting to play this
It's
for
not like
ages.
us to forget things like that.
This is a band, Frente, who kind of came and went and no one was particularly interested, but they did do this lovely acoustic version of the New Order tune, Bizarre Love Triangle, and this just shows you how incredible the melodies and the words and everything are.
Brilliant, I'm a fan.
New Order, just play this.
Good night.
Songs for the
Bye-bye.
ladies. Is this in the week?
Do you reckon Richard Anderson will be back next week?
Yeah, Richard Anderson will not miss this show.
Excellent.
Work it on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Educating Ricky?
Yeah.
Should I do a bit of that?
Well, the clues are coming in furious.
The answers, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah. So go on then. Oh, this is what.
Yeah, Rockbusters is well underway, Carl. Don't worry, you've done your work now.
Okay.
Right, come on.
Right, educating Ricky.
This is my favourite bit now.
You're just gonna tease us, aren't you, with 3 headlines, if you
And
like.
I'm gonna choose one, then we got the other 2 as well.
Yeah, that's
Go
the
on.
way it works, and at the end of it, you learn some stuff. Like I say, I'm struggling a bit with knowledge.
Yeah.
At last he confesses.
Yeah. Go on.
So the 3 headlines for you to pick from, we've got, first one, we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
I got a feeling there's some vegetables involved.
Yeah, go on.
Maybe. Second one, he's a bit of a nuisance.
Okay.
Alright?
Right.
And, third one, I'll bacon in the morning, if you're sick of having me here.
Oh, that one.
I'll bacon in the morning if you're sick of having me here.
Right, I'm having that one.
That's brilliant.
Right, well, it's a saying. Do you know, cold shoulder? Giving someone the cold shoulder?
Yeah.
Alright, if you have someone round at your house, and, you know, you try to get rid of them, and they're hanging around and stuff, and you're like, oh, I wish they'd go, I'm tired and that. Well, years ago,
When? Literally years ago. Well, ages ago.
sort of,
Olden times.
I think it said medieval times.
Yonks ago then, yonks ago.
Yeah.
We're going back quite a bit on this
Well,
one.
you know when you find out these books, why don't you just pop down when it was?
Just make a note.
I don't think it says all the time, it just sort of says, you know, a few years back.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Well,
Never.
Alright, I'll make an effort next week.
Okay.
Right? So, it's annoying that, because my girlfriend said to me, just make a note of the time, they'll stop having a go at you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And I kind of thought, oh, it's alright.
Didn't listen.
I don't think it matters anyway in this one. We're looking at the saying, right? So
Yeah.
it's giving someone a cold shoulder, right? And what it is, right? Ages ago, there wasn't enough houses for people.
Right.
Because there wasn't much money being made. You know, there weren't big businesses. People weren't earning good money like they are now. So there wasn't as many houses, right? So what you ended up getting is like, you know, the rich people having a nice place to live,
Oh.
and the poor people were like wandering about, you know, looking for places to live and that. And what they ended up doing is, they had like, people would go round to the mate's house and say, look, I haven't got anywhere to live. It's a bit cold. Can you let me stay? Right? So they'd go, oh, alright, then you can stay a couple of days. But they ended up staying for like weeks.
Yeah.
Right? So, to sort of get rid of them, what they'd end up doing, they'd be making the dinner. And they'd, be making a lovely dinner, like a bit of meat, nice warm meat. And, nice veg. Gravy and
this happened every time, did it?
Works.
This is where the saying came from.
This is what happened, Rick.
This is what happened every time.
It was in that vague book.
The book of vague sayings and stuff.
Right, so yeah, so they'd be making a nice meal, but what they did, they looked after all the family. But the person who won't go home, they just give them some, like, sort of a cut-off of cold meat.
Right.
So they'd say, you're giving them the cold shoulder. Meaning...
Right. Okay, that's rubbish. Okay, absolute.
Carl, why does that necessarily work?
Yeah. Why do they always, in every situation when you want to get rid of a lodger, well, still feed him every day, but make the meat lukewarm. So
they always leave then.
Yeah.
Oh, this food's lukewarm. I'm gonna become homeless
and they
again,
go,
wandering the
hold
streets.
on, are you giving me the cold shoulder? Yes. Do you want me to leave? Yes, just say leaving. No, I like to do it cryptically. That way, in years to come, someone will have a little saying about it.
Well, anyway, that was our bacon in the morning.
Yeah.
If you've had enough of meat, we'll leave that.
Well,
Bacon in the morning! Oh, bacon in the morning if you've had enough of me!
so come back. What are the others? Just tease us again with the others. We'll come back to those.
You've got, he's a bit of a nuisance, and, we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Nice, looking forward to that. You're across it. I don't think you can concentrate on talking and working at the same time. I'm not sure you can.
Walking.
Yeah, for you, it seems as a bit
no,
like.
don't say that. Look, he's gutted. No, there's a lot of gone wrong here. I say, throw this desk out and get a real one. Seriously.
Well, I think there's a Fisher Price one you can buy in Argos that might be.
Yeah,
worth
but yeah, we got there. We were stung because it was second hand. This one, but this is like the Mir space station. I mean, it really is falling apart. Get a new one in. Let's not, I can't believe it. I mean, look at that. Look at the library. Look at the gaps in the library.
Let's not go on about this because this isn't good.
What? Whereas that quiz was. Whereas that was good radio.
You can join in and stuff.
But the problem is, Carl, why'd you rush to do it? I told you before we should practice these things. That's
Although, to be fair, Steve, I haven't got time to do anything, so at least Carl's coming up with stuff.
But I don't mind, running through with it while you're having a kip outside.
Really? What other ideas have you got? Have you got any other ideas, Carl? Because we've got another hour to put. Have you got anything at all?
I've got that feature Educating Ricky, which is a bit of a play on words as well. Right? Do you know the film, Steve?
Educating Rita?
Yeah.
I'll see what you've done. Go on.
I'm doing that, and I teach Ricky stuff.
What do you teach me, Carl?
Well, I've got a few different topics.
Go on.
Do you know, like how you taught me about Hitler and Che Guevara and Winston Churchill?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come in with topics every week, and this week I've got,
Ghosts?
No, hanging bacon is one of the topics.
Say that again?
Hanging bacon.
Hanging bacon?
All the titles...
Francis Bacon?
No, all the titles are sort of named to sort of tease you and get you more interested in it.
Hanging bacon? Well, you've certainly intrigued me.
Go on, what's another title one?
Hairy Chinese Kid.
I'm gonna go for that one.
If there was a university degree with that title...
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go for Hairy Chinese Kid, I think.
The final one, Alien Gives Man a Beard.
Right,
Alien Gives Man a Beard.
I am gonna burst. Right, listen, Carl, you've got to tell me. Right, first, let's do it in reverse order.
We're not gonna do it now anyway.
What do you mean? We've got to do it now. I mean, this is the first interesting thing you've said in an hour. Okay, the listeners have just been subjected to rubbish and mistakes and everything for the last 6 months. Please, we've got to do Alien Gives Man a Beard. What is that? Tell us that.
Right.
Sorry, this is just you telling me something, is it? This feature is you telling me something.
Well, teaching you something. Educating Ricky. Huh?
So, are we playing it now? We're already into this feature. Well into this feature, are we?
Yeah, I suppose we are, yeah.
Should there not be a jingle or something?
Yeah, can we have a jingle?
There's no point, because look, I come up with ideas and you dismiss them straight away, so I'm not wasting my time making stuff.
Right.
If you don't like
well, okay, let's play Educating Ricky.
Right.
Brilliant. Go. Right.
So-
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Educating Ricky.
Right, what we going for then? Hanging the bacon, Hairy Chinese Kid, Alien gives man a beard.
I think Alien gives man a beard.
I'd like to do that.
Right, there's this fella, I think it happened in America, and he saw a bright light in the sky. And,
God, if you're bored.
and he stood there.
This is a true story, is it?
Yeah. He stood there,
Yes, of course it isn't, Steve.
and he saw this bright light, and it came closer and closer, and it was a UFO, right?
Yep.
And he looked at it, and it disappeared, right? And he gets back in his car,
He looks in the mirror.
and he looks in the mirror.
Yep.
He's only got a beard.
He hasn't.
You sure it wasn't someone else who got in the car? And he was still standing out there?
No, right?
What?
And it turned out,
Yeah.
he got home and said to his wife or his girlfriend, it's a bit weird. So I just got out of the car to look at a bright light, and I got back in the car and I grew a beard, and she said, never mind your beard, where have you been for 3 days? And what had happened is,
He passed out because he was pissed.
no, the UFO had taken him for 3 days,
Yeah.
but he'd only thought that he'd only looked at it and it went away.
Yeah.
But what had happened is, he took him, and
Yeah.
he grew a beard because he hasn't had a shave.
Right, okay. I mean, was Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones anything to do with this at all? Did you see this on a video maybe and thought it was an educational film?
No, it's from a book that some kind person sent in to me. Here.
Can I just ask again, just again, I'm just throwing this right back at you. Do you think there's any other possible answer here? Right, a man is absent for 3 days from home.
He's grown a
the length
beard.
of time that it could take to grow a beard, lest we forget. What if he hadn't actually seen a bright light in the sky?
What if he
he'd
was
been
lying? What if
drunk?
he was lying?
He'd got knocked unconscious. He'd had a car crash.
Just
any number
lying.
of other
No,
things.
just lying.
Or he was just lying.
Yeah, he'd been on a bender, getting pissed for 3
Yeah,
days
and that
with
was
his
his
mates.
excuse to his wife.
And they went, Dennis, what are you gonna tell your wife?
Well, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
He's not going to believe I was out with you, lads.
Just say you're only away for a minute. No, I wasn't away from it because of the beard. Oh yeah, it looks like you've been out for 3 days. Well, we have, that's...
Exactly.
Right, okay, we've got to cover that then. Alien abduction.
Great one.
Okay, let's try that.
Do you see? That's a little scenario there that could have been played out.
So, when you say educating Ricky, what have I learnt from this? Never listen to you again. That's all I've learnt so far. Never listen to you.
Yeah, we'll add a little bit more in here, right? To
Well,
spice this
no,
up.
what do you mean add a little bit more?
We'll add a bit more to this what I'm educating you about,
Go on.
right? There's only a law in America that says if you touch a UFO, you're gonna get done. Now, why would they make a rule? I don't know that. Do you know, like, all their rules have a code?
Carl, I genuinely do not know what you're talking about.
Right. Do you know, like, how here they might have...
Do you know
I
what?
have no idea.
Right,
okay.
Do you know, like, over here...
I'm listening to Capital on these headphones. I got Foxy on from yesterday.
Right, let's bin that.
No, wait, it's great. No,
I want to hear about Airy Chinese Kid.
let's play a tune. and
Okay,
let's come
play a
back
tune,
with
come back with Chinese Kid, definitely.
Some doors.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just thought I'd go back, take it back to the 60s. This is a tune that a friend of mine sent
If
me.
you touch a UFO, you get done.
Soul Kitchen from The Doors.
Shambles today, this.
David Bowie, Slow Burn, yeah. Quite a Eno trilogy
Yeah,
feel
not bad
about
at
it.
all, yeah.
Lodger
Is it
and
a
sort
new
of
tune?
low type, yeah. But, yeah.
Enjoyable.
Now, okay. That's stressful, isn't it? I think we've got things working now. We've had people coming in and out, just shaking their head going, shouldn't have bought that desk. But it's all sorted now, I think. And,
You notice how
I'm
it took
sorry.
about
What?
25 minutes for them to come down as well, though? Do you feel like we're maybe quite low in the pecking order in the building?
Definitely.
You know, it's like Capital First, Capital Gold. They can shoot off to other sort of pirate stations.
Yeah.
People's car radios, then they come back here.
Oh dear. Oh, I had a job at Richard Sounds.
Yeah.
Light fitting was buzzing. Now, but we've got. Thanks for staying, listening. Right, okay. Educating Ricky. What have we got? Airy Chinese Kid. Go on.
Right, yeah. This is the, I didn't want to do this.
do you didn't want to do it?
Well, I wanted to give you three, and I gave you one. It was like the alien man gets a beard or whatever.
Yeah.
And-
Which was total rubbish. So this one should be better, maybe.
Hey, Chinese kid. Right, well, we've talked about airy people in the past.
True enough.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
You know, the little kids who grew up in woods and hung around with wolves and that.
Yeah. Again, you're confusing it. Yeah, they're not. There were some people that were born. Very hirsute. They were not the people who were brought up with wolves. You
Yeah.
just put that together in your Homer Simpson type mind.
Right, well, this is like a sort of sort of close to that sort of story.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, right, Chinese people aren't that hairy. As a nation. No, seriously. That's a well-known fact. They don't have that much body hair and stuff.
Okay.
So, this little kid who was born over there, he was, like, covered in stuff.
Was he?
And it was only his nose that wasn't hairy. The rest of his body was caked in hair, right? And his hair sort of
What
grew.
sort of hair was it? Was
Thick hair.
No, what I mean is, was it sort of, like a pony's mane, so he just looked like an Ewok? You know what I mean? Just like hanging down sort of straight, dark hair.
In the picture, it looked like, it grows from his eyebrow. It grows from his eyebrows quite thick. And then it just goes all the way over his head.
You don't think it was just really long eyebrows that he'd done a comb over?
No, it was all over his body. It had a picture of, like, his back and that.
Yeah.
And,
Had he styled it? Had he styled it at all? Did he have it in a quiff, or?
no, it was just
hanging everywhere.
all over him.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know, this is a bit weird. Happening in China, where we're not normally that hairy.
That was the scientist speaking there.
Yeah.
And the local press and that were getting him down, calling him monkey boy and all this.
Oh.
And,
Thinking Chinese press.
but the doctor,
Yeah. Oh.
They're cruel, aren't they?
the
It's like
doctor,
those game shows. That's Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all that. Yeah.
and the doctor said,
I was Carl talking through all that time while we were just like talking to each other then. Because I turned round and I still saw he was talking. Go
So
on.
anyway, the local press came in to see the hairy boy, the monkey
yeah,
boy.
and they were like being tight, taking the mickey out of him, and the doctor said,
Showing him nuts.
he's only hairy. Said, he's a healthy young kid. The only faults he's got is he's got a little bit of eczema and a boil. And he said everybody should just treat him the same, and I think he grew up a healthy kid. Yeah, so that's the,
That's the end of the story.
That's not a story.
why?
But I've got nothing, I don't know what to say to that. So someone in China was born slightly hairier than the rest, and he was normal apart from eczema and a boil. That to me isn't a story. But if it is, I've got a million. I mean, it's sort of like, bloke from Manchester, went a bit bolder than the rest, got a job on radio. He were normal. I mean, that's not a story, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Alright then.
Hang on.
Hold on, he's got the big guns. You're not going to give us hanging bacon, are you?
Yeah.
Come on then, come on then,
Right.
come
This is the one
on,
we've been looking
come
forward
on.
to. This is it.
No, this is a good one.
This is the one.
And this is a story, right? Do you know the saying, chewing the fat?
Good one, it's one of my favourites.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know what it means?
Talking.
Right. Well, do you know where it came from?
No.
Right, what they used to do years ago, when people didn't have much money.
Is this the same as throwing the baby out with the bathwater?
No, it's not the, well, it's not the same saying, but
No,
it's...
but I mean, is it as wrong as that was?
Well, let me tell you, and we'll
Go
see.
on. Okay.
Like, people go out to work, and with the money, they'd buy food.
Oh yeah, go on. This is a good system. What, go on, what do you mean? People go out to work and with the system...
And
Well, go on.
if you were quite well off, you might treat your family to some bacon, right? But do you know, like in these days, if people earn a lot of money, they might buy a nice suit or a car.
Yeah, so what are you saying? You're saying wait, let me get this straight. You're saying that you go out to work and get money to buy things to live, and if you get sort of enough money to live and you've got some left over, you might treat yourself on like a suit or a car or something. Is that what you're...
Yeah.
Oh,
but
go
back then, if
Yeah.
you earned money, they'd say,
This is olden times.
yeah,
Okay.
let's get some bacon in, right? And what they'd do, they'd hang it in the kitchen
What, to show it off?
to show it off to all the neighbours and friends. Because if you had hanging bacon, it was like, he's doing alright for himself.
Yeah.
Some lovely bacon.
So they had loads of bacon hanging up, and people would come round, right? And whilst they stood in the kitchen talking about whatever they're talking about,
in olden times.
they'd say, do you got a bit of rind? And they'd rip a little bit of rind off, and whilst they're having a chit-chat,
Chewing the
they'd
fat.
chew on the rind.
Well, I think that's probably true.
And
I
it's
haven't
like-
heard that, but that one to me sounds true. Do you see the difference between that one and a man was abducted and grew a beard? Can you see the difference in
Yeah, but
why
they're
I accept that
different-
story?
Different stories for different things.
Different stories for different things. So, see, that's a nice story. If it's true, I don't know if it's true. I mean, but it seems totally possible, viable, quite interesting. I won't be quoting that myself until I've verified it. But that's, you know, I won't be telling anyone the bloke got in the car and he had a full-faced beard. Why has his car been towed away?
Because it was a quiet road.
Was it?
Wasn't in the way. So.
Are you filling in the blanks again? That wasn't in the book, was it, that you read? See, that's the thing. Sometimes I think you make up bits of the story as though they were fact. That doesn't seem right.
Well, that's all you can do, innit? So that's Educating Ricky. Will we
Brilliant.
do that next week?
That is brilliant.
No, I think that was good. I did. I mean, I enjoyed that. I learned something from that.
I mean, well, I want to get. I mean, this is all from one book, is it?
Yeah.
That's an interesting book.
With the, I don't want to dwell on it, but with the hairy Chinese kid, what did they say about that? What was the, I mean, was it once there was born a kid who was slightly more hairy than everyone else, but it's alright, he only had a boil. How did they word it? How did this capture your imagination?
There was
Well, it was a picture that grabbed me, first of all.
Yeah. Sure.
And it was like, God, what's up with him? And that's when I read it.
Did you see the boil and the eczema or just the hair?
No, you see, because his face is like, just under his eyes is sort of nice and smooth, and his nose is sticking out, and that's not hairy. But the rest of him, it looked like he had the sort of a balaclava on or something. And then I read on, and it's like, this is a hairy kid in China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, good. Anything else in there? Because, I mean, I like that.
We'll do more of that next week.
How is that alongside, hanging bacon, alien abduction, a hairy Chinese kid, and a little interesting fact about the derivation of a phrase?
What do you mean?
He didn't understand a word of that. I knew the word derivation was going to cause problems. I thought derivation shouldn't have come out.
I wasn't disputing. He's all smug because he's had a phone call. That was Beck. Lost calls. Go on, tell him why you're all smug.
Because Adrian just called up.
Yeah.
After hearing the story about the Chinese kid.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, that's true. He said that there was a TV programme on it.
Yeah.
He had a chromosome defect.
Yeah.
And it made him hairy.
De La Soul. Old school.
Brilliant.
Jam named Saturday.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Good stuff. Carl, so, Educating Ricky. You were going to tease us now with some of the big headlines you've got.
Dancing.
Improving. He really is in the
He
groove there.
really is dancing there.
Right.
Right.
So,
Okay.
the way this works is,
What would you rather be, Carl?
I teach you
Superheroes.
3 things.
A frog boy, yeah, that you could leap onto a house, but you had to go blah, first and leap onto a house. You're this frog boy, right, and that could be useful, couldn't it?
That's very useful, yeah.
Right, amploid, where you've got your hands and microphones, and you can talk into your hand and your whole body, it's like 100 decibels, you can go, "Oi, come here!" And people can hear you from miles away, amploid, right? Right? Or sado, right? And that means that you can go up to anyone and go, alright, and they don't know why, they just get fed up for the whole day.
Which of those would you prefer? Don't answer now, have a think about it.
The frog thing, do I look like one, or...
No, you're just you and your little Ben Sherman shirt and everything, and they go, and people walk along and they go, "Oh, look at that young child on that roof, he's gonna fall, I wish Frog Boy was here," and you go, "Blah." And you go down, you go, "Blah," and they go, here's him! And they don't recognise you when you're squatting, they go, "I don't know who you are." And you leap up there and say, and you come back and they go, "Where's Frog Boy?" And you're standing up and you go, "Don't know, he went that way."
Yeah, I'd probably have that one.
Would
Probably
you?
go with Frog Boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay, go on.
Right, so, did that just go out?
What?
All that.
Go on, I've got a bad...
Hey, look, Rick, Carl's really planned this show. He's really worked out. He came in early, he was writing things down.
And there's me
planning
just
it,
coming up with rubbish
and
like
you were
that.
just talking rubbish. So, Carl, I know you've been
Right.
thinking this through. What have you got?
So, Educating Ricky, we did it last week. It's where I teach you some stuff, but rather than just teach you something, I tease you, so you want to know more, so you want to take in information, right? So,
If only people had taught you like that, Carl.
so,
And also, it's the name of a film, sort of, nearly.
Coming up soon, Henry VIII and his, well, how many wives? Come back tomorrow, Carl, to find out.
right, the little headlines I've got to sort of tease you with the story.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt me and I'm not very well. Go on.
Right, we've got,
So this is what, sorry, I've just got lost for a minute there.
It's Educating Ricky.
This is Educating Ricky,
Yeah.
and these are the stories that these are the things you're gonna tell him.
yeah,
But these are just headline versions.
these are headlines,
This is not
because
the actual fact.
then I think people will remember things.
Okay,
if
alright, so you,
do you know what I mean?
sort of bullet points.
Who can forget Hairy Chinese Boy?
Indeed, I shall never forget that.
Yeah.
So, first headline,
Ooh.
don't do that to it, you know it can't live without an head.
I've got no idea. It could be about the French Revolution, it could be about anything.
I know what it is!
No, you think you do, but...
No, it's something I taught you! Is it the fact that cockroaches can live for 9 days without a head?
That's part of it, but it's something different as well. That's what I thought we'd bring up.
Okay.
Okay, brilliant. So that's something to...
Next one, you won't work it out. If only it was raining.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Go on.
And the last one, what's tomato with you?
What's tomato with you?
Yeah.
Look how pleased he is.
You're obsessed with puns, aren't you, at the moment, Kay?
It just works, I think it works.
Yeah. You love puns.
So, there you go.
So which of those are you gonna choose, Rick?
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to choose. Don't do that, you know it can't live without an head.
Can we play a tune and we'll come back with
Yeah,
that?
I reckon.
Find out what that is.
Yeah.
Wow, what a history lesson that's gonna be.
Dandy Warhols and Bohemian Like You on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Karl, what's the story then?
Right, so what did you say you're going for? You've got your 3 titles, your 3 teasers.
Well, I think I'm gonna go for Don't Do That to It, you know it can't live without an head.
I'm looking forward to this.
Right.
Right.
So this is Educating Ricky, for those that have just tuned in.
Now, something that Ricky told me about when he was educating me was that a cockroach, if you cut its head off, it lives for a week,
Yeah.
right?
And the
And
only
what
reason it dies is because it can't take on water.
Sure. It doesn't have a great time in that week, though, does it?
No.
I mean, it doesn't get much done, I don't imagine.
It just needs water, and because it can't find any, like its eyes, it eventually dies,
Yeah.
right?
No.
So what?
No, it's not, that's not, it's 'cause
Anyway.
you can't drink.
Anyway.
So have you heard that one about worms?
Okay.
I have, go on.
If you cut a worm in half,
Yeah.
a lot of people have said in the past that it'll turn into 2 worms.
Right.
But that isn't actually true.
Okay. Who said that?
No, it used to be like, you know,
Kids at school
they
said
said
that.
it on, kids at school and stuff.
Yeah.
So that, you know, a lot of people think that.
Don't pick him up on stuff, Steve, it's bad enough.
Sure.
So, but what they can do, if you get a worm, right, and you find out which end its head's at,
Right.
if you you've got its head there at the left-hand side, right, and if you sort of cut it in half,
Right.
but not in half, so there's more of its neck than the tail, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bit that you've cut off will sort of die, and the rest of the worm will get better. So in a way, you can cut it in half, and it'll survive, but only one half will survive.
Okay.
Yeah? What have you learnt
I
there?
wish you hadn't chosen that one, Rick, to be honest.
I know, because it's nothing, is it?
Yeah.
You know that
No,
joke,
I
you know that
information is-
joke, how would you tell a worm's head from its you put it in a bowl of flour and wait till it farts,
Yes.
right? I told my mate that, right, and he went, what if it coughs?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So, there is a bit of truth in that myth of cutting one in half.
Where did you get this information? I don't understand where you get this
That
information
was from the Fortean Times. It was like
Right.
the myth about worms.
Yeah.
That was the big article that week.
Did it take you as long to read that article as it took you to tell us just then?
I like the fact that it starts off debunking a myth
Yeah.
that we hadn't heard of anyway.
Exactly.
You know the big thing about cutting a worm in half and making 2 worms?
No.
Yeah. What's the other one? What's
I
the
mean,
other
it's not the
headline?
thing to do either, by the way. Don't go doing it.
No. It's not very nice.
But,
It's cruel.
but it can get by
And
if
it's
you do.
pointless.
Yeah,
There's no scientific worth
yeah.
in that.
Well, there you go.
Okay then.
So the others now, you see
was the
what I
others?
do. No,
What's
I
the
tell you
others?
the other titles. You're not having them yet. That's the whole idea of this. People will be driving or about to go out doing the shopping. They'll think about that now.
What was the other 2?
Well, the other 2.
They won't think about that. They've forgotten
No,
that.
they will. They will.
No, they've forgotten that already.
If only it was raining. And what's tomato with you?
Right,
That-
you've
I'm
got to
looking
tell
forward
us-
to that one.
No, you've got to tell me tomorrow with you.
Look what's happening. You see, you already want more education, and this is what listeners will be doing.
I tell you, I wish you were a teacher. I so wish you were a teacher.
Do you know what I mean? Kids would be saying, I know it's 3:30, but I don't want to go home, I want more.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing with you. I'm teaching you.
Why are
taking
you
in
teaching
information.
me things about not to cut worms in half and what's tomato with you? Please tell me what's tomato with you, Carl.
In a bit, in a
No.
bit, in a bit.
Rick,
What?
I tell you, he's thought the show through. He's
Yeah.
teasing the audience. You're excited. They're listening.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So listen, I think we should all, because we got your competition to squeeze and we got all these great goodies. Let's not
This is
forget,
amazing.
hello, children of the corn.
I do feel slightly
give that
guilty
away
that,
before
that now this is Karl Pilkington show. I don't think we should have our names involved.
No.
It's not fair, is it? And I think we should give Karl the money.
I don't want my name to this. It's a Ricky Gervais show. Yeah? Right, the quiz.
Yeah.
Will we get that out of the way, because they've only got an hour to start.
Don't you worry
emailing.
about that, Carl. I've already got this one. I'm thinking on your terms now. Let's play a tune. We'll come back
What
with
we
the big competition information. All right? Money Mark. We got a classic from Money Mark from his album Push the Button. Play that, Carl. And after
Coldplay. The Scientist on XFM 104.9. Right. Competition, isn't it?
no, it's Educating Ricky Part 2.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
I wasn't even listening. He's doing all the work, I wasn't even listening. Oh, and he's spilled some water down on that. Right, what's this one again then?
Right,
What's the teaser headline?
teaser headline is, What's Tomato with You?
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Go on then.
How excited were you when you came up with that? You couldn't wait to come in and tell us, could you?
I think it's a good one, because you won't forget it now, will you? I mean, like the worm one. What's so special about the worm?
You know, a lot of people think that if you cut a worm in half, two worms will grow, but no. What happens is if you cut the head end slightly nearer the tail than the tail will die, but the worm with the head will be okay. So, it's exploded a myth, and it taught me something.
Right, so, the second one, part 2 of Educating Ricky. What's Tomato with You?
Yeah.
What this one's about is, ages ago,
It's scientific.
There's never a date. There's never a country, a location.
Okay, settle down, children. This is A-level history. Right.
Once upon a time.
Yeah. When a mental place with swords was a king, forget his name, but he was a loony. So, and it was literally ages ago.
Yeah.
So, good luck in the exam. Yeah.
right, so like, you know, alright, many years ago,
Oh, yeah, yeah, cleared that up. Go on.
they thought tomatoes were poisonous. Right?
Okay.
Because what
Hold on, are they going to be proved wrong at the end of this story?
Well, what,
Because I don't want to give away the ending, but is it something to do with the... are they poisonous tomatoes?
no.
Oh, you're having a laugh.
I don't believe it.
But,
Go on,
but
go
what,
on.
I could have been eating tomatoes all this time.
Oh, Steve, what's tomato with you anyway?
Okay, so hang on a minute.
what's
Let's just
tomato with
recap
you?
quickly. Many years ago,
Yeah.
when people thought tomatoes were poisonous.
Yeah.
Go on, yeah.
Well, they didn't know they were poisonous then, because they were still eating them. But what was happening
Well, they're not.
was-
But they're not poisonous.
Ah, but hang on a minute.
Alright, and it's not, I'm just gonna listen. I'm not even
Okay,
gonna
yeah,
talk.
no, okay, I'm not going to tackle
So,
anymore.
if you remember, years ago, they didn't have, like, pottery plates. they had lead plates, right?
What are you talking?
Just let him talk.
Sorry, what year is this?
Let him talk.
Come on.
Plates made out of lead, and
Right.
what they'd end up doing, they'd say, right, do you want a tomato? And they'd go, yeah, alright. And they'd put the tomato on the lead plate and cut it, and because of the acid in the tomato, right, it would sort of make the lead runny, and the lead would go into the tomato, and they'd say, oh, it's lovely this, and they'd be eating it, they'd get food poisoning, lead poisoning, what have you, and they'd be really ill. So they thought tomatoes were poisonous, so they didn't eat them for many years.
And when
then
you say
someone said,
they, do you
this
mean
didn't
the
happen.
people of Narnia?
Yeah, this didn't happen,
Where was
Carl.
this happening?
Sort of in Britain and that.
You put him on the spot there. Oh, I hope there's no uppity pupils at this school when they go, what do you mean, sir? Oh, if you're gonna... Oh, I'm fed up with you.
Do you understand?
No.
So the acid...
No, you've got... No, right, okay, first of all, Carl, where'd you get this information from?
Where did I
14
get
times
that?
as well?
Do you know,
You can't remember.
I don't know where I got that from. I don't know where I got it from. But why don't you think that makes sense?
But, what? Someone once got lead poisoning from a tomato?
Not just one, loads, and then all of a sudden... No.
Why is this educating me?
Because I'm telling you that tomatoes, you
I
eat them...
can't take anything away from this.
Yeah,
I don't know what to take away from this. What have I learned? What have I learned? Don't mix lead with tomatoes. Why is this educational in any shape or form? What are you telling me? A long time ago in the land of Glunk, right, where the ninnies did slib, right, they thought tomatoes were poisonous because they ate plates of lead. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but we all know tomatoes aren't poisonous.
Is that what we're taking from the story?
Is that the moral of the story? Don't believe these people that I'd never heard of before. What are you talking about, Carl?
I think it's a bit weird.
It's a bit weird, yeah.
It's the same people that were spreading those malicious worm rumours.
My hangover's coming back. I've got to get some water. Play a record that was rubbish. Doves. Caught by the River on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington, doing the button stuff. Actually becoming a little bit of a producer.
Carl,
he's put a bit of work in, hasn't he? He's come up with a few games, and we made him. He's getting a bit stressed when we shout at him because the mics don't work or it's hanging off. It was too hot in here. He couldn't get the thing working last week. I mean, I really would throw this studio away and get a real one.
Yeah. Well, I'd get one of those ones you can buy for like tenner from Argos.
Argos, yeah, like Bon Tempe. My first studio.
My first
with a little
broadcasting
picture
studio.
of Carl on it. Yeah.
Exactly. That'd be great product placement.
What have you got this week for us, Carl? Because again, we've put very. I said I would put. I'm not hungover, but I put nothing into it.
Rick, have you done any work for this week's show?
No.
None whatsoever? No.
Okay, Carl, what have you got? What have you got? Quick. Keep them. It's 5 past. They're turning over already. They're finding other things.
Carl, what have you come up with?
There's melon stew. There's everything. Well, go on.
We've got, after the success of last week, Rockbusters.
Okay.
We're doing that again.
Sorry, were you on the same show as us?
I thought it went alright last week.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
Right, so we'll be doing that. Got some nice prizes, which,
Oh, what prize? What arbitrary films have you got? Have you got?
Don't tell them yet. Don't tell
No,
them.
I'll tell you what. If it's Children of the Corn 2, then can I enter this competition?
There you go.
No.
What is that?
He's got some different prizes. Maybe I should just tease the audience with those a bit later, Rick, because there's some exciting stuff there.
That's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Right, so
I don't want to give too much away, Rick, but one of them is a copy of The Office on DVD.
Is anything like maybe Burt Reynolds' straight-to-video film? Are there any of those in
Sadly,
there?
nothing quite as classy.
Fist.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
so
go
we've got that lot to give away.
Yeah.
We've got,
on. Hurry up, quick.
Educating Ricky, where the teachers
Because you taught me that people used to eat tomatoes off lead plates in the land of Narnia last week,
that's
which was
what we learned
good.
last week.
Yeah.
No, what
Is
was-
it only tomatoes they ate off the lead plates, by the way? Why didn't they think other fruits and vegetables were poisonous?
No, it wasn't. It was because tomatoes had acid in them. That was the problem. You see, you don't listen, right?
Well, lots of fruits have acid in them.
Yeah, but they didn't eat them back then. they didn't have bloody kiwi fruit and stuff.
Don't
did
say
back then.
bloody. You're a producer. You'll start saying shit and cock and stuff. You start saying bloody.
Tits.
Play the.
Hang on, right, and
Go on, play
and keep him hooked, right?
Yeah.
We've still got a song with a story in it.
Yeah. You don't want to play Babushka, do you? He doesn't like the idea of Babushka. I told him that was a story.
Yeah.
And, he doesn't like it. Devil went down to Georgia. Someone sent in. You know, he's looking for a soul to steal.
Yeah.
Doesn't like it. Why don't you like that?
Do you know the song?
Not particularly.
Right, it's a song about a lad who goes into a pub on a normal night. And
it's in, sort of the deep south of America, New Orleans, something like that. It's, you know, it's not the old Kent Road.
Right, okay.
Okay, go on.
goes into a pub. There's a devil in there who's getting a bit cocky. He's had a bit to drink and he's saying, do you want to sort of gamble your soul away with me and we'll see who's best at playing the violin.
Yeah.
And I think the lad wins in the end, but it's not real enough. Whereas the one...
Oh! What? Not like the Shadow that got fed up and started pushing kids off bikes?
Rick, I think you're
In
referring
Boston.
to stuff that no one made sense of last week.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think we should refer to last week.
Let's play Mock Turtles, Can You Dig It? And then we'll come back and we'll talk about that.
and
I've come to the conclusion, Rick, we should never refer to stuff Carl said in the past, because it would just take too long to explain.
Okay, alright, that's fair enough.